Let me be direct with you. You could be sitting across from a woman who has already decided you're her choice, and you wouldn't even realize it. While you're stuck in your head wondering if she's interested, debating whether you should text first, replaying that laugh to figure out if it meant something, you're missing the one signal that actually matters. Here's what most men don't understand until it's already over. There is a very specific moment when a woman shows she has chosen you. It's not about texting habits. It's not about body language. It's something much female psychology explained more revealing. And if you overlook it or react the wrong way, that window closes for good. Here's the hard truth. Most men are so focused on trying to act cool that they don't even notice when they've already won. They're hunting for clues that she might like them while she's practically giving them the answer. This isn't about tricks or manipulation. This is about recognizing the moment a woman has made her decision so you don't destroy something that's already there. I'm going to break down exactly what this signal is, why it changes everything, and how to handle it. The one thing she shares without ruining it. Let's get into it. Before we go any further, I need to be clear about something. This has nothing to do with manipulating women or playing games. This isn't about gimmicks or toxic tactics. What we're talking about is psychology, specifically how women communicate interest in ways most men completely miss. Most dating advice tells you to watch surface-level signs, but those signs are unreliable. Women can be friendly, flirty, and fully engaged with men. They feel zero romantic attraction toward. What I'm about to explain is different. It's about distinguishing real investment, why this means emotional attachment from simple politeness. The truth is, most why women hide their true feelings. Female psychology explained men waste months, sometimes years, chasing women who were never truly invested. They mistake friendliness for attraction. They confuse courtesy with genuine interest. And by the time reality hits, they've lost time, energy, and confidence. Understanding this single signal removes that confusion entirely. So, let's break down how women actually show interest. Here's the issue affecting millions of men right now. Trust versus attraction. You're stuck in your head, overanalyzing everything. You send a text and she replies 3 hours later. Is that good? Is that bad? Is she losing interest or is she just busy? You meet for coffee. She laughs at your jokes. She touches your arm once. Does that mean something or is she just being nice? And here's why this keeps happening. Most men are watching the wrong signals. They obsess over response times, emojis, physical touch, and who initiates plans. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Women do all of that with men they have absolutely no romantic interest in. A. The mistake. Men make women can reply fast, laugh at everything you say, and even touch you during conversation and still see you as nothing more than a friend. The reason men stay confused is simple. They're chasing validation instead of investment. Validation is shallow. It's responsiveness, friendliness, engagement. Investment runs deeper. It involves emotional risk. And most men are so busy collecting validation that they completely miss the moment a woman is actually investing. So you stay stuck in this draining cycle. You analyze every interaction wondering if she likes you or if you're wasting your how to respond the right way time. You second guesses every move. Should I text the critical sign she shares that screams, I love you her now? Am I too available? Am I not showing enough interest? Meanwhile, women who are genuinely interested are giving you clear signals and you're missing them because you're focused on the wrong things. So, what should you actually be paying attention to? What's the one signal that separates real interest from friendly behavior? Here's exactly what we're going to cover. First, I'll show you the specific behavior that reveals genuine interest, what it looks like in text, what it looks like in person, and why its final psychology insight completely different from normal interaction. Then, we'll break down the psychology behind it, because once you understand why women do this, you'll never misread it again. After that, I'll explain how to identify it correctly because there are false positives and you need to know the difference between real investment and attention seeking. And finally, the most important part, how to respond when you see this signal, because recognizing it means nothing if you kill the attraction with the wrong reaction. By the end of this, you'll have clarity. No more guessing. No more overanalyzing text for hours. You'll know exactly where you stand. Let me show you what this actually looks like. Here's the behavior you need to pay attention to. When a woman voluntarily shares vulnerable personal information with you without you asking for it, I'm talking about real, meaningful things. Her relationship with her parents, pain from a past relationship, fears about her future, insecurities she carries, dreams she's actively working toward. This isn't casual talk about TV shows or complaining about her job. This is her opening up about things that matter to her emotionally. Here's the first critical difference. She brings it up on her own. You're not interrogating her. Subtle body language clues. She's emotionally attached. You're not pulling it out of her with endless questions. She offers it freely. Maybe the conversation is about something unrelated, and she suddenly talks about how her last relationship ended badly. Or you casually mention family, and she opens up about something deeper involving her father. The point is, she's the one opening that door. You didn't knock. Second difference, it's genuinely personal and vulnerable. She's not just listing facts about herself, she's sharing things that carry emotional weight. There's a huge difference between "I'm close with my family" and "I haven't been the same since my dad remarried." One is surface information, the other is emotional exposure. One can be shared with anyone. The other is reserved for people she's testing to see if they're emotionally safe. Third difference, it happens early. This isn't months into dating when trust is already built. This can happen on the first date, the second, maybe the third, sometimes even before you meet. During the texting phase, when a woman shares vulnerable information this early, it's not because you've earned her trust through time. It's because she has already decided you might be worth trusting, and she's testing whether that instinct is right. And here's why this matters. In female psychology, vulnerability equals investment. When a woman keeps her emotional world guarded, that's neutral. When she opens it to you early and without prompting, that's a signal she isn't doing this with just anyone. She's not sharing her deepest insecurities with a man. She's merely being polite to. This behavior is reserved for men she's genuinely considering something real with. The reason most men completely miss this is simple. They're watching the wrong things. They're focused on how she remembers every detail about you. Big love signal, physical cues. They're studying her body language, wondering if she's touching her hair, trying to decode whether she's mirroring them. Meanwhile, she's clearly communicating interest through her willingness to be emotionally open, and they don't even notice because they think attraction is supposed to look different. Here's how this differs from normal friendly conversation. Yes, friends share personal information, but pay attention to timing and structure. Friends usually open up after trust has been built over time, weeks, months, sometimes years, and it happens mutually back and forth. What we're talking about here is different. This is her sharing vulnerability first, early in a way that feels slightly ahead of where the connection technically is. That early, almost premature vulnerability is the signal. So why does she do this? What's actually happening psychologically when a woman opens up early? First, understand this. Women guard emotional vulnerability very carefully. It's not something they give out casually. And here's why this matters. In female psychology, vulnerability equals investment. When a woman keeps her emotional world guarded, that's neutral. When she opens it to you early and without prompting, that's a signal she isn't doing this with just anyone. She's not sharing her deepest insecurities with a man she's merely being polite to. This behavior is reserved for men. She's genuinely considering something real with. In female psychology, emotional openness is investment. It creates a bond. When she shares something vulnerable, she's actively building emotional intimacy with you. That act is not neutral, it's escalation. From an evolutionary standpoint, women have always had to be selective with emotional investment. Emotional. When she opens up about her past and vulnerabilities. Vulnerability creates attachment. Attachment requires safety. So, when a woman voluntarily opens up early before safety has been established through time, what she's really saying is this: I've already assessed you as potentially safe, and now I'm checking if that instinct is right. This is not the same thing as testing in the manipulative sense. Tests are games, pulling away, creating drama, seeing if you'll chase. Those behaviors exist, and yes, some women do them. But vulnerability sharing is different. This isn't a test you pass or fail by performing. It's a trust check. She's asking, if I show you this part of myself, will you handle it correctly? Can I be vulnerable with you? This psychological shift is critical. When she opens up first, the power dynamic has already changed. Normally, early dating follows a pattern. Men pursue, women select, men express interest. Women decide whether to reciprocate. But when she shares emotional vulnerability before you've earned it through time, she's reversed that dynamic. She's pursuing you emotionally, she's taking the risk, she's hoping you respond well. Most men misunderstand this because they're conditioned to believe attraction looks like obvious flirting. Laughing at everything they say, touching, texting first constantly. But those behaviors can happen with almost anyone. They're low-cost, low-risk behaviors. Emotional vulnerability is highest high risk. She doesn't offer that unless there's genuine interest. Now let's add another layer, the difference between oversharing and real vulnerability. Some people, men and women, trauma dump immediately. They unload their entire emotional history in one sitting. That's jealousy done right. Signs she's protective of you, not what we're talking about. Genuine vulnerability has a very specific feel. There's hesitation, softer tone, sustained eye contact, pauses, checking how you react. She's not performing. She's cautiously testing emotional safety. You'll feel this difference in person, and you'll see it in text, too. In messages, it often looks like longer text than usual, multiple messages in a row. Sometimes a follow-up like, I don't usually talk about this, or I don't know why I'm telling you this. That awareness matters. She knows she just crossed into deeper territory, and she's acknowledging it. That self-awareness is part of the signal. Here's where most men mess it up. They either don't recognize it at all, or they confuse oversharing with genuine vulnerability. So let's break down how to identify the real thing. Real vulnerability includes hesitation. Her voice softens. Eye contact increases. She watches your reaction. There are pauses. Sometimes she shares something, then quickly changes the subject or makes a joke. That's not avoidance. That's her checking whether you handled it well. False positives look different. Trauma dumping happens fast, with no pauses, no checking, no sensitivity to your response. It feels one-sided, almost performative. She's not testing safety. She's using you as an emotional outlet. That's poor boundaries, not investment. In text, watch for structure. Several short messages, leading up to one deeper one, then a self-conscious follow-up like, sorry, that was a lot, or I don't know why I just said that. That slight embarrassment is the signal she knows she went deeper than normal, and she's gauging how you receive it in person. Watch her physical positioning. Future talk, planning life together without saying it directly. She may lean in slightly if she feels comfortable, or pull back a bit if she's nervous about your reaction. Nervous behaviors like playing with jewelry or adjusting her hair aren't flirtation tactics here. They're genuine signs of emotional risk. Timing matters too. If this happens on the first date, it's a strong indicator. She doesn't know you well enough to feel fully safe, which means she's decided you're worth the risk. That's investment. If it happens on the third or fourth date, it's still a signal, just at a different pace. Both point to interest. One is simply faster than the other. Content matters as well. Is she sharing childhood experiences that shaped her fears, past relationship pain that made her guarded, dreams she's protective of? Or is she just venting about surface-level annoyances? There's a big difference between my ex was awful and my last relationship made it hard for me to let people in. One is venting, the other is vulnerability. Now, red flags that cancel the signal. If she overshares with everyone, if she constantly posts deeply personal material publicly, if it feels like emotional depth is being performed for attention, or if she shares something deep and then uses it to extract sympathy, validation, or resources, that's transactional, not genuine interest. But recognizing the signal means nothing if you respond the wrong way. Because when she opens up, There is a right response and a wrong one. Get it right and attraction deepens. Get it wrong and it dies. Here's the framework. Validation, brief reciprocity, then forward motion. Validation means acknowledging what she shared without minimizing it or dramatizing it. Don't the way she supports and motivates you true devotion say that's nothing. Everyone goes through that. That invalidates her experience. And don't go the other extreme with, wow, that's so deep. Thank you for trusting me. That makes it awkward and performative. Just acknowledge it calmly. That makes sense. I can see why that would affect you. Keep it grounded. Brief reciprocity means sharing something at a similar depth, not more, not less. If she talks about her parents, you can mention something about your family, but don't trauma dump. This is rapport, not therapy. Match her depth, then move forward. Shift the conversation somewhere lighter or future-oriented. Why? Because if you linger too long in emotional processing, you become her support system, not her romantic interest. The empathy trap is real. What kills attraction is over-comforting, trying to fix her problems or slipping into therapist mode. She's not asking you to solve anything. She's testing whether you can stay grounded while emotions are present. So stay calm. Don't become more emotional about her story than she is. Another common mistake, over-investing emotionally. If you respond by unloading your own trauma, you've made it about you. If you send long paragraphs analyzing her situation, you're trying too hard. Match her energy, match her depth, never exceed it. In text, this means a thoughtful but concise reply. 2 or 3 sentences. Acknowledge what she said, maybe relate briefly, then redirect. That makes sense. I've had similar experiences with my family. By the way, when are you free this week? You respect the moment without letting it dominate the interaction. In person, tonality matters more than words. Keep your voice steady, calm, no excessive sympathy. Light, appropriate touch. Final proof she chooses you. Every single day, work a hand on the arm if it feels natural, not a hug unless she initiates. You're offering grounded presence, not rescue. The most important thing, maintain your frame. When she opens up, she's checking whether you're solid. If you get flustered, overreact, or change how you show up emotionally, she'll feel it and she'll pull back. The man who stays centered is the man she feels safe with. The man who loses his center is the man she doesn't trust. Frame maintenance means you appreciate her openness without seeking approval for it. You're not proving yourself. You already passed the filter or she wouldn't have opened up. That quiet confidence is what tells her she made the right call. And here's the part most men never grasp. When she shares vulnerability first, early without prompting, you're not winning her over. She's already chosen. You're the top option. The only question now is whether you maintain that position or lose it with your response. This isn't about manipulation. It's not about power. It's about understanding that she took a risk and respecting that risk by not fumbling it. The harsh truth is this. Most men kill attraction after she shows interest because they don't realize the dynamic changed. They keep chasing when they should be steady. They keep seeking validation when they should provide certainty. Think about it. How many times did you finally get a clear sign of interest and then immediately overinvest? You texted more. You became more available. You tried harder and she pulled back. Why? Because she invested first. You were supposed to meet her investment, not surpass it. You were supposed to stay grounded, not get excited. When a woman opens up conclusion and a life-changing takeaway, claim what's yours. Emotionally early, your reaction tells her everything. Stay calm and she feels safe. Get flustered and she feels like she misjudged you. It really is that simple. Now, I want to hear from you. Has this happened to you? Has a woman ever shared something vulnerable early on and you either recognized it or missed it completely? How did you respond? Did things deepen or did they fade afterward? Maybe you're realizing right now that you missed this signal with someone important. Drop your story in the comments. I read everyone and I respond to as many as I can. Your experience could help another man who's in this exact situation right now. Here's the bigger picture. This channel isn't about tricks or games. It's about understanding psychology so you stop wasting time in confusion and start recognizing real interest when it's right in front of you. We're building men who understand how women actually communicate, not how we wish they would. If this helped you, subscribe for more content on female, psychology, and dating dynamics. I'll see you in the next one. And remember, when she shares vulnerability with you unprompted, you already have her. The only question is whether you'll